Welcome to the Sales Factory. I'm your host, Coach Carroll, right here live on Facebook. It's 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Come to you every Monday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, except for next week. Next week I'll be off. I'm actually leaving Wednesday to go to Phoenix for 4 days with my good friend Keith Kalfas. We're going to Brandon Bouchard's High Performance Academy, so super stoked about that. But got my list here in front of me from my team, and I gotta give them a shout out because this is my absolute favorite thing to talk about. Today we're going to be talking about cold calling, and basically we're going to talk about what is cold calling. Does it work? Does it still work? Because right, like it's been around. There's probably some books back here from Brian Tracy or Zig Ziglar, some of the old school cats that I learned a lot from and kind of look up to, bringing in this new millennial generation of public speaking and look to take the reins from them. But we're going to really be talking about what is cold calling. Does it still work? And then why you should make cold calling. What's the true benefits of that? So if you're watching this live right now on Facebook, go ahead and give me that thumbs up, hit that share button, share it out to your news feed for me. Would greatly appreciate that. And as always, this is a live show. So if you've got questions, go and drop them down in the comment section. I'll see them pop up right here on my end. Or if you just want to say hey, or let me know where you're from, say hey, and drop in a comment. I'll give you a little shout out on there as well. Man, it's been a busy day today. Got a lot of stuff done. You're always like up against it, right? When you're going out of town midweek, or like you got like a vacation coming up, it's just like go. And it's really helped me narrow my focus because I know there's certain things that I've got to get done today. Because tomorrow we're actually shooting a commercial for a client. As you may or may not know, I actually own an ad tech company. And so what we do is we build systems and software for companies to help with their mobile device advertising. So mainly through social media, but doing a lot of cool things. If you're watching this on YouTube, thanks so much. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Andy, let's throw up a little subscribe button down here somewhere so they'll see that. And if you're listening on the podcast, remember, if I make examples or something like that you can't see, because obviously a podcast is all audio, then you can always hop over either to Facebook, catch the replay there, or over my YouTube channel as well. So again, as always, wrong corner here. Hashtag Coach Carroll. You can find me on all social media. Connect up with me. Listen, a lot of you have been engaging with me on Instagram. We've been going really hard on Instagram stories and then just Instagram posts. We've actually got a contest going on right now over on my Instagram. If you go to my first post there on the Instagram, you can see it's at DJ_Carroll, or just search hashtag Coach Carroll. You see the post. We're giving away a 12-week course, a selling machine course that Sales Excellence University put together, and myself giving one of those away to one lucky winner. So go check that out. And I think that's all housekeeping stuff. Let's hop into this, right? Are you guys excited? Like, cold calling is my most favorite thing in the whole wide world. I love Facebook advertising, right? Like, Facebook ads are legit. Zucks came in and gave us a little smackdown and basically telling us that we're going to not get as much organic reach, right? So now this just pushes me even back into using this mobile device, right? So what is cold calling exactly? Cold calling is reaching out to a cold prospect. Now, you can do this one of two ways. You can do it via phone, or you can, some old school sales guys still call a sales call when you just like show up, right? Because back in the day, door-to-door selling is really how sales guys got, that's how they made their money. They would literally go door to door. I know a good friend Jordan that works for Tom James, sells custom tailored suits, is probably one of the most successful custom tailored suits. What's he call himself? Haberdasher. One of the most successful haberdashers in the country, in the company of Tom James. He's done some work for me, man, and like the shirts and stuff fit amazing. But he built his business going door to door, right? So that's a cold call. But we also have to look in the new era of business, because really now sending direct messages on Instagram or LinkedIn or Twitter or Facebook, those essentially could be considered a cold call, because really it's cold if the prospect has never heard of you, okay? If the prospect has never heard of you, then they're considered a cold prospect. If a prospect has heard of you, but maybe doesn't have a proposal from you, has never done business with you, maybe has some interest, they're considered warm. If the prospect is actively chasing you down, like, hey, I want a proposal, come pitch me, I'm interested in working with you, we call that a hot lead or a hot prospect, right? So that'd be a hot call, a warm call, and a cold call, okay? And the reason why I like this is because, man, if you're like I was when I started out, you don't have money. Like, I was broke, man. Like, literally, my mom, my dad, they busted their asses to provide for me and my brother, but I wanted nice things, right? And so for as long as I can remember, I mean, like middle school, I used to still coat driveways, got into high school, would work carpentry jobs in the summer. My family was very blue collar and we lived in a very rural community. So, working was just like natural, secondhand to me. And so what I realized was when I started my business, I didn't need to necessarily spend money on marketing as long as I was courageous enough. Okay, write that down. Courageous enough to pick this thing up and not be afraid of somebody telling me no on the other end of it. Because essentially a cold call is just dialing this phone, letting it ring, and then pitching them. That's it. That's all there is to it. The challenge with this is what I think a lot of people face, and that's not knowing what someone's going to say to you once this phone picks up. Okay, and so often, you need to have some type of a script. You need to know what you're going to say. You need to understand how the call flow might go. And in the early stages, the only way to do that is practice. The only way you can get better at something is to practice and to study. Those are the only two things. But I'm going to tell you right now that you can study all you want, and that will make your practicing starting point a little better. But until you get into it, you're going to fumble over some words. It's like, starting cold calling is like thinking that you're just going to pick up a basketball for the very first time and be able to beat Michael Jordan. Like, it's not going to happen. It takes hours and hours and hours of calls, hours on hours on hours of calls for you to be able to hone that skill in and to build your craft. But listen, if you can do this, if you can get over the fear and the anxiety of making a cold call, then you're going to be in good shape, because you're going to be able to do something. I call it the 3% and the 97%, right? Like, there's the 3% lives a completely different lifestyle, right? They make a large chunk of the money. They do things that other people won't do or can't do. And cold calling is one of those. Believe it or not, there's a lot of people that I've come across that they just can't get their emotions under control. When a prospect says no to them, they just can't handle it. They can't get their emotions under control. So then what they're forced to do is to, spend money on a different marketing effort. And while I still think spending money is important, you literally can make cold calls while you have your marketing going. You can do them both at the same time. And when I started in business, I had $300. I started with an 89 F-150, a Walmart weed eater, and a Walmart push mower. And I was like, I got to get some clients. So I started calling on people. I started asking people in my close inner circle first, if I knew anybody that needed lawn care. And then I would continue on. Got an ambulance coming down here. The only bad part about living in downtown Louisville is sometimes, got a nice little ambulance that comes by. So maybe Andy can edit that audio out, or maybe we'll just take a brief intermission, right? So, once we've got that figured out, once we know that it's about dialing on a cold prospect, it's about understand. And I hope you guys get this. If you're watching right now and you get this, put a little comment down on the screen and say, yeah, awesome. I get it. I understand. Because if you don't, then ask the questions. That's what I'm here for. Okay. So that is what is cold calling. You know, Amanda's got here. Cold calling seems like an old way of doing things. Does it still work? And the answer is absolutely. I would even go as far as saying that cold calling works better now than it used to, because now you've got like the do not call registry. Honestly, us millennials are just more introverted. We don't like making those outbound phone calls. The 10 biggest projects that Easy Pro has ever done, and still to this day, I mean, we've been in business 11 years, still to this day, the 10 biggest projects that we've ever done all came from cold calls. Every single one of them. And like, that's not just something that's like, oh, wow, that was a fluke. Like, no, like there's a reason for that. Is because when you're cold calling, you can pick out who you're going to target. You can filter that list down and only go after those big jobs. You know, make sure that you're swinging for the fences, so to speak, so that you're getting the maximum amount of return out of your time, right? Because, and again, I'm gonna draw this out here, make sure it goes this way. Like as your business starts, right, and across the bottom here is time, and on the right-hand side is money. As it goes along and time passes, you're going to accumulate more and more and more and more money. Like, at least we hope so, right? That's the goal of business, is to accumulate more money. And as you do that, you're going to have less and less time. It just shifts. So cold calling for me was always a really good use of my time early on because I didn't have a lot of money. There wasn't anything else to do, right? Like if you don't have money, you can't buy marketing. You can't buy advertising. So like you can either go knock on doors, or you can dial phones, or you can send direct messages on social media. And listen, we've tested this stuff. My brother, when we very first started the ad tech company, he doesn't like doing cold calls. So I'm like, cool, man, hit people up, DM them. He probably sent 500 messages to get one response. I'm going to give you these stats real quick. You can write these down. And Andy, maybe we can throw a little graphic up on the screen for the people here on YouTube. Is the average stats for a cold calling professional is 18 to 20 dials per day. So you should be able to make 18 to 20 dials per day. Those 18 to 20 dials per hour. Andy, edit that out. 18 to 20 dials per hour. And in that hour, between those 18 and 20 dials, you should hit 2 to 3 significant conversations. Significant conversations means that you're getting someone's contact information. You're actually maybe even getting them on the phone. You're having a conversation that is going to go somewhere. It's going to help you grow your business, okay? And then out of that, it's your standard numbers. So we're going to do 2 significant conversations per hour. You figure you're going to dial for 8 hours. That's 16 significant conversations. And out of those 16 significant conversations, you know, maybe you get to pitch 10 of them. And then out of 10, maybe you close 60%. So in one day, essentially, you could close 6 deals. Now, that's not all going to happen in that day. Like, you have to understand that there is a thing called a sales cycle. And you know, we'll do a separate segment on that someday on what a sales cycle is. But you have to understand that when you're pitching and you're in this like cold calling mode of just making dials, you're looking for the opportunity. That's all it is. Like, so many people get so caught up because they make 20 dials or 30 dials and they're like, God, man, you know, that person didn't want to talk to me, or they're, listen, the market's huge. There are so many fucking people in the United States. There's so many fucking people all around the world, if you can sell globally, that if you'll just take the time and invest it, and I promise you, if you will sit down for 8 hours for 5 days a week for a solid week, so 40 solid hours of dialing, you're going to put in about 800 touches to prospects. If you can't shake something out of that, you probably shouldn't be in sales, or your script, your sales process, how you're pitching them is all screwed up, right? Here's the number one mistake. And we just had, I did a Instagram video, and I think I put it on Snapchat as well the other day. I had a guy, I was so excited. He cold calling experience. He started for us. He was super excited. You know, he was doing really, really well, putting through training. You know, it's the second part of the second day. And I'm like, all right, man, we're getting on live calls. He starts calling stuff, and he's not following my script that I have. right? Like this guy is just all over the place. Like he's letting people push him around on the call. One of the rules that you have to understand in cold calling is that you have to be in absolute control 100% of the time. 100% of the time. You have to remain in control of that phone call, because if you don't, you will lose. Okay? If you do not remain in control of the call, you will lose. There's no ifs, there's no ands, there's no buts. You're going to lose. So what's that mean? Right? What do you mean staying in control of the call, coach? Listen, when the assistant answers the phone, it's the difference in your greeting, okay? When the assistant answers the phone and says, "Hey, thanks for calling Acme Plumbing Supply. This is Michelle." Do you say, "Hi, Michelle. This is DJ with Coach Carroll Sales Training. How are you today? I was just calling over. You know, we're a sales training company. We help people like you just got diarrhea of the mouth, man. You're just like spewing all over everything and make a mess." What I'm gonna do is this. Here's an example of a good call. Ring, ring. Thanks for calling Acme Plumbing Supply. This is Michelle. Michelle? Yes. Right? She's like, who the hell's on the other end of the line? Say my name like that. Hey, Michelle, it's DJ. Is Bob in? I don't know. Let me check, right? Like we just did this whole, I can't wait until the keynote comes out from Detroit. I just did this whole role-playing thing at the end of my keynote up there. No one could stump me because I've just had so much practice overcoming these objections. Right? Michelle could have said, DJ, no, go to hell, never call me again. I hate guys with the name DJ. You should probably just go jump off a bridge and fly a kite while you're doing it. And I'd say, Michelle, listen, I totally get that. Like, I hate people named DJ too. Honestly, it's not even my real name. Real name's Ever. A lot of people call me Coach. Let's just say it's Coach, right? Can we be friends now? Can we talk now? You have to be able to come over those objections, because what happens is most people go, click, and they hang up. They get tongue-tied, right? Cold calling is also the best training you're going to get to prepare you for sales and pitching, because it's just straight objections. It's brutal. You have no idea. It's like going in the fucking batting cage and there's like 3 machines pointed at you and you don't know which way the ball's coming from. And you're just in there like holding on to the bat for dear life, hoping you're going to make it out alive. That's how it feels, okay? Don't let that discourage you. You just have to get really, really good at hitting 3 machines. Because then what happens is when you go into a regular pitch and there's only 1 machine and you know exactly how it's going to go, then it's a cakewalk. Like, I love getting objections face-to-face now. Most of the time, I don't even get objections because I put the objections and I overcome them in my actual sales presentation. So then when the customer's sitting there and they're getting my sales presentation, like, well, shit, I was going to ask him about that. He just answered my question. Well, shit, there's another one. I was going to ask him about that too. He just answered my question. You know the best thing that you can see while you're pitching a prospect during a sales presentation? Scratching out their notes on the paper. Because what happens is they've got a list of things that they want to cover. If you see them over there and they're just like scratching things out, you're doing really, really well. That's good. Keep going. So with that being said, wrapped up, I kind of got off on a tangent there. I told you guys I'm super pumped about cold calling. I love this shit, man. Because you have to realize it's made me the most money out of anything else. It's made more money than it's probably made me more money than Facebook ads. At this point, I don't think that'll always be the case because I just don't do a lot of cold calling anymore. Just because I'm moving more to a CEO status and managing a lot of people in the company. But I got another question. Why should I make cold calls? You're going to make cold calls. One, if you're broke, you can't afford to advertise or market your business. You've got to make cold calls. I grew my lawn and landscape company to over $3 million in revenue by doing one simple thing. Every fall, I knew that property managers were taking bids for their budgets, right? Property managers, and if you don't know this, property managers do their budgets in the fall. So if that's a target client of yours, there you go. There's a little golden nugget. So what happens is every fall they're doing their they're doing their budget, and I just get on the phone for like a month and a half straight. And like ring, ring, ring. You know, thanks for calling Shadow Ridge Apartments. This is Angela. Hey, Angela, it's DJ with Easy Pro. I know you guys are taking in bids right now on your budgets. Just wondering, can I stop by and give you guys a quote for your lawn and landscape contract? Yeah, absolutely. Like they're always wanting another bid, right? Because it's so price driven. But I knew that happened, so I used it to my advantage, and I would close $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 accounts in a year, just right there in that month and a half window, all from using my phone, doing cold calls. So that's why you should cold call. Not only is it that, I think it's the cheapest way. I know a lot of you are like just starting a business, or you're thinking about starting a business. If you're going to sell B2B, it is the easiest way to get in front of them because it's so hard to market. You can do targeted direct mail, but I've just had bad experience with that. The response rate's really low. And the benefits of cold calling is the fact that not only are you prospecting, not only are you hunting out new clients, and you're going to close business off of it, right? It's just a numbers game. But I think it's some of the very best batting practice for your sales pitch that you can have. And listen to your calls after you play them through, right? Like after you do a call and you've recorded it, go back and listen to it and go, shit, man, I shouldn't have done that. Or, oh man, I shouldn't have said that. You had to go and figure out what exactly it is that's making people turn on and turn off, because it's very important. That's it. That's all I got for today, man. Cold calling still works. What is cold calling? Answer the question. Does it still work? Absolutely. What is cold calling? It's basically calling cold prospects. And what should you make cold calls? Because if you're broke, it's the easiest way to grow your business. What are the benefits? Lots of fucking money, right? And if you're watching a Sales Factory, I hope you like lots of fucking money, because that's what this is about, man. I'm trying to give you all the tools you need to succeed. Like, that's not just some corny, cheesy tagline. I mean, it is, but it isn't. I'm giving you right here every week concrete tactics. You won't find another podcast that gives you like the step 1, step 2, step 3. Like, and I'm going to tell you right now, you can literally go on Google here. I'll do a live, and because I've done this before, and people just like, it tickles their bellies. I guess they think it's amazing because I don't do cold calls, but I'll do a live cold call right now. We'll let's do this. There is a new Raising Cane's on Hurstbourne Avenue. So I'll call for my power washing company, okay? So that you can see that if this works with pressure washing, it works with anything, okay? I promise you that. You also have to listen. I'm glad I just did this, because I thought this is the biggest mistake most people make. They don't understand why the fuck you're calling. Like, you have no idea why you're about to make this call, and you start dialing and you puke all over yourself. What happens 99.9999999% of the time is that when you pick up the phone and you start dialing, you're going straight for the kill. You're trying to close the deal right there on the phone. And that's not the secret. That's not what you do. Here's the secret. Set the appointment. That's it. Set the appointment. Move from first base to second base. Actually, it's not. You just got to hit the ball and get on base. We use a lot of batting analogies today. I don't know. Maybe springtime's coming. Louisville bat season tickets are on sale. Like that. I should have got paid for that shit. Shout out Louisville bats. But you have to understand that when you're looking at a cold call, you're just trying to get on base. That's it, man. You can't win the game if you don't get on base, right? So we just need to make contact. Set the appointment. All I'm trying to do is come by and give this guy or gal a quote. Hey, can I send my guy John by to measure up your concrete and give you a free proposal? That's all I'm asking. I don't need a yes. I don't need a no. You don't have to do business with us if you don't want to, because all I'm looking to do, man, is get my foot in the door. Okay, that's it. So let's do this. Let's make a dial real quick on the Sales Factory live. All right, Raising Cane's, Hurstbourne, and it's 4:30. It's another time. You got to know when to call as well. Let's see here. Let me know if you guys can hear this.
Canes. It's Brian.
Hey, Brian, it's DJ. How are you?
Hey, what's up, man?
No, it's just another day, brother. Hey, are you the GM there? No.
Josh is.
Josh, is he around by chance?
He's off today.
He is. Man, I was gonna see if we could come out. I own a power washing company here in Louisville, and I know you guys just opened, so you're gonna want to keep that store clean, right? I mean, keep it looking fresh and clean. So,
yeah, we're gonna bought a power washer. We're gonna do that on our own.
You're gonna do it on your own? Well, hey, man, I totally get that. That's a way to save money and cut some cost. Would it be okay if we just came by and measured that way? I mean, if that thing ever breaks down or anything, you guys would at least have our information to give us a call?
You're welcome to, man. I don't want you to waste your time. I know Josh is probably gonna tell you definitely will never happen.
Okay, that's fine, man. I don't.
You know what I mean? Like I don't want to.
Yeah.
Rude or anything, but
no, dude.
Give you a heads up.
Yeah, no, I totally understand that, and I understand you guys don't save money. That's all I ask, man. Is, you can tell me no today, just don't tell me no forever. I just want to get our number out there and get our card in your hand. That way, things happen, and maybe your work comp goes up, or some guy pressure washes his toe off or something. You never know. But that way, you guys at least have our contact info.
Definitely.
Cool, man. I'll send John out there to take a look at it probably sometime this week and drop off a quote.
All right, man.
Cool. Thank you so much.
All right,
bye. All right. So here's what you take away from that, right? The guy's like, hey, man, we don't need it. We just bought one. Did you hear me overcome that objection? Totally understand that, man. You guys are trying to cut cost. It makes sense. Hey, can I at least still come out and just take some measurements and give you guys some? Well, look, man, the manager's probably going to tell you, like, it's never going to happen. Like, how do I know? Like, maybe he got in his mind, like, it's going to cost $900 a month or something, and we can come in and do it for $150 a month or whatever those prices may be. All I know is that now puts my foot in the door. Okay, that gets me in there. Now I'm gonna have John, my right hand man, go start forging that relationship. Maybe their building gets dirty. Maybe they need window cleaning. You never know. Hell, maybe the guy just needs his house washed, and we wind up picking up a residential customer out of this. But I just created that opportunity for my business out of thin air. Does that make sense? I hope so. Andy, make sure you chop that one down. That'll be a good little clip. All right, guys, I got to run. I hope you guys had a fantastic day. Thanks for joining me here in the Sales Factory. It means so much to me that you just keep paying attention. Hey, make sure that if you're listening to the podcast, leave me a review. Go over to iTunes. You can find it. Just search the Sales Factory. Don't go to season 1. Go to season 2. And make sure you leave a review on there. That would mean so much to me. And shout out to all the fans all across the world, man. Like, we're just seeing massive upticks in South America and Asia and over in the Middle East and Dubai and the UAE and all of Saudi. Like, it's crazy, man, that all of these millennial entrepreneurs, they're allowing me to come in each week and then every day with our content on all the social media platforms to just help you guys grow, whether it be helping you change your mindset so that you're able to receive success, or if it's just giving you those little tactical nuggets so that you know exactly what to do. Because listen, I remember starting my first business. Like, I remember not knowing what to do. Step number 1, like, how do I get insurance? How do I set up an LLC? Like, how do I do all of this stuff? And that's why I create the resources that I do. That's why, like, CoachCarroll.com/grind. If you haven't went and got that, it's my tactical grind series. It's the 10 things, the 10 fundamentals I think you need to know to be a successful entrepreneur. It's the things I wish someone would have taught me in my first, 5-10 years in business. And it's really going to help you. And then, out of that, like, I'm finishing up the audio version of Phenomenal Phone Calls, which is my cold calling book. So, next week we'll be probably publishing some stuff on that. And then I've actually got in the works the first week in April, we're going to be rolling out a live webinar to where I'm going to peel back the curtain and I'm going to show you from step 1 to step 12 or however many steps there are, exactly how I manage my sales processes, right? How I take a prospect from a Facebook ad and put them into my CRM, and what CRM do I use, and how do we manage the funnels and how do we manage the ads? And when I do a cold call, how do I move people throughout the pipeline and what's the proper way to do a cold call? So all of that stuff, we got it in a pipeline, tons and tons of content. Nathan Brinkman said cold calling still works for him. Pop the comment up so you guys can see it. Boom. Shout out to you, Nathan. Thanks for tuning in to the Sales Factory, my man. Make sure you leave me a review on the podcast where you're listening to it at. Under your guy catches it here on Facebook quite often. That being said, man, I'm going to finish wrapping up my week. Like I said, I'm so jacked up, man. Wednesday, headed to Phoenix, High Performance Academy, Brendan Bouchard, my man, Keith Kalfa. Can't wait. I'm going to come back just absolutely revolutionized. I got big hopes and dreams for this training that I'm about to go through, just so I can come back and deliver more value to you guys. So a lot of things in the work. Thanks so much for kicking it with me right here on the Sales Factory. Till next time, I'm your host, Coach Carroll. See you guys. Hey guys, it's Coach Carroll. I hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure you click right here to subscribe to the channel to be notified when we drop new videos. Over here's the video that I recommend you watch next. And last but not least, over here you can click to get my free book, Phenomenal Phone Calls. We'll see you in the next video. Here's to your success.